and we are recording. You wasn't lying. I don't know why the words went in my brain, and I was just like, I'm getting ready. You know, I've got to fucking check my rider, make sure I've got the olives and everything down here.
All full of brown M&Ms removed.
We have brown M&Ms. In fact, do you even get brown M&Ms, or is that just where you eat the? I don't eat them, so I thought maybe you'd have to like nibble off the casing to make it brown. Do you know what I mean? I pay somebody to suck the brown out of my M&Ms and then spit it into my mouth. Welcome to the Poproast Podcast, everyone. I don't know how we got there. Fuck me. It's been trials and tribulations on the technical front, but we are back for another week. And I've got the background. I won't lying. It is coming along. I've got one thing now in the background.
What is that?
Yours truly. Fuck it.
Is that? Go on.
That is Batman. Famously.
Is it Batman?
Of the Avengers? No, he's what is he called? There's not even a name.
No,
there's a picture of Christian Bale here, which is probably illegal. And then if you look at the eyes on this, mate, he is fucking
the resolution is
he's out of it completely.
All my
back. So at least the packaging is on point. And I really wish you could get a clearer look at those eyeballs, everyone, because this man is a fucking loose unit. Not just beating up poor people now, he's coming for everyone. Anyway, now the background's boring again, so I'm glad that worked out. So we are on track. We are in 2024. It's not our first. No, we did one last week, didn't we? 2024. So it's not our first one back for 2024. How many times can I say that right? You know he's not coming back in 2024 though. You all right, by the way?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, you.
Yeah, we're just rolling, we're flowing, and somebody who was rolling and flowing in the horror genre, Mr. David Gordon Green. We've talked about him a little bit on a couple of occasions in the past. Did you see Exorcist Believer yet?
No.
I think it is out on streaming now. I don't know where, but it is out streaming. So if you do want to watch it, you'll probably be able to find it. And do enjoy it, because you ain't getting another one.
No.
So David Gordon Green, Exorcist Deceiver, which was the due to be sequel, no more, is delayed indefinitely as David Gordon Green departs the horror sequel, which I thought he'd already done.
Yeah.
If not officially so, then obviously unofficially, because we read some stuff and some quotes and whatnot from him, and we talked about it a bit. He was not happy with how those films were going. I think part of that is because that's in this article here from Comic Book Movie, trusty old Comic Book Movie. But I think maybe the reason the pressure was on him so much from the studio is because they bought the rights to The Exorcist, and a couple of other things were included in it, but mostly it was The Exorcist rights. $400 million they paid for those rights. And also included in this was the TV rights to Halloween as well. Because I think we talked about that as well, how the movie and the TV rights somehow just got separated along the way. Yeah. But still, 400 million for a horror property that's 40 plus years old at this point. So it don't matter if he made a good movie. He didn't. But even if he did, there is no way you're going to make 400 million off of even 2 or 3 Exorcist movies. I think this new one made it just about past 100, but the marketing, there was quite a good marketing campaign. Well, I say good, there was a marketing campaign.
What's to be said about horror remakes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but anyway, you glad about this? Do you still care about seeing the first one?
No, I didn't really. It was advertised, to be honest. It just didn't look great. Look, the trailer didn't look good. I don't know, man.
No, it
No,
was
I
again.
think he's just done with horror. Really, I think
Yeah, he.
from the sounds of things.
The official line here is that he stepped away from the movie to focus on a production of Nutcracker starring Ben Stiller. Now, you can love horror, you can hate horror, or The Exorcist, or, specifically. I don't care how bad the first movie is. Nobody's stepping away from a massive horror franchise to do a fucking Ben Stiller-led production of Nutcracker. We see through that. He's also
Mm.
got a TV show on HBO that he's producing, which is Righteous Gemstones, which I know nothing about. Apparently, it's quite good.
Is that
But
something to do with Elvis?
your guess is as good as mine.
Well, there we go.
It could be HBO. They do some like, what is it, sort of like biographically, historically based stuff. I think they're the ones who did there's a show
Oh, it's
about the production of The Godfather. I think, yeah, they did a show about the making of The Godfather, and that did quite well. So maybe it's an Elvis thing. I don't know.
no, it's not. It's a comedy, American black comedy crime television series created by Danny McBride, and it's
Yeah.
been going for a minute
Who
now
was he in, or did he produce one of the Halloween movies? He wrote them with him or something,
yeah,
didn't he?
yeah, he did. Danny McBride. Yeah,
Yeah, so they're obviously friendly.
um, he did the first one. I'm not sure about the other two because they kind of fluffed it,
No.
didn't they? 'Cause I think it was supposed to only to be two of those Halloween
Oh
films,
yeah,
and they kind of
got the extra
spread
one
it
in there.
over. Yeah, they spread it over from ends. Halloween Kills to Halloween Ends, and they had to kind of just,
You
you know,
get the vibe that they
fuck.
literally finished making the second one, and like, oh fuck, we finished the movie, but we haven't really finished it. We've got to make another one. Like, not planned.
Yeah. Did you
But,
watch Ends? Halloween
um,
Ends.
ends yet? No.
Oh,
Um,
you go watch that.
but
Yeah.
is that the really bad one, or is that the okay one?
I mean, no, I'd say Halloween Kills. A lot of resounding opinion that Halloween Ends was terrible. I found it highly amusing, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It was like a lot of people describe it as Halloween meets Twilight. Um, there's like a little
Yeah.
bit of a romance story in
It's
there. There's like
a
weird,
dark-haired dude who's lusting after a lady.
yeah,
I could see the
um,
comparisons.
yeah. I don't know. That whole series was a bit of a shit show. I don't know. I thought the 2018 Halloween had some interesting. I think we already talked about it, but
Yeah, a little.
interesting angle with the Doomsday Prepper, um, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yeah.
and then like they just completely changed their character, like
Hmm.
in Halloween Ends.
I tell you what, did a much better job
Yeah, I
with
don't
Jamie Lee Curtis than they did with Ellen Bernstein in The Exorcist.
know.
Like, at least they gave
Yeah.
her like, even if it was a bit like hollow, they did like give Laurie Strode like some kind of like respect and you
Oh yeah,
know
like I said,
off, which
yes,
is not what you get with Ellen Bernstein.
yeah.
I have you to see it just
I can't.
because
Yeah, I don't
there's one thing
know.
they do with that character that just off the rails, mate, off the fucking rails. You think we're done now with like the legacy horror sequels? You think they're still going to try and pump these out? Do you think this is the
uh,
last one?
do I think have they learned their lesson? No, probably not.
But they should
They'll
have.
still they sh-
Yeah.
they should, but they probably haven't. Did you say you watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the
I,
2022 one?
I started it. I didn't
Oh, okay.
actually finish it, which
Oh, we'll
reminds
talk about. Yeah, when
yeah,
you finish it, we'll talk about that.
I
That'll
finished
be
it.
fun.
I wasn't hating it. I think I was getting into it, and then I just
Hmm.
didn't get around. You've got to be in the right mood, for one of those. It's not like just sit down, eating your lovely steak dinner,
Yeah.
and whack on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know,
I yeah, I don't know. I watched that the day we got a day off work because of the storm last year. Don't even
right,
remember. Well, obviously you weren't in the area, but like that storm that hit and like ripped a hole in the O2 building, the roof
right,
or whatever. It was like massive wind. We had like trees like come down in the garden and stuff. Yeah, so our factory like closed for the day, so got a day off, and I was like, oh, watch some films, watch that. I don't know. It was. I wasn't a massive fan of it, but there was some interesting stuff with the legacy character,
mm,
like Sally, the final girl of the original film that they brought back, and they sort of did similar things, but then went a different route with the like similar to the Laurie Strode character thing. But yeah,
yeah.
once you get to it, we'll talk about it. It'll be fun.
So yeah,
Yeah,
like I think they should call it a day with The Exorcist. But
probably. Yeah.
$400 in deep. They'd already announced not but both of the sequels. Um,
Mm.
they're gonna do something with it. I just don't know if you try and like start again and ignore this one. I feel like there's only so many times you can do that, and a lot of
Mm.
have been trying to do that. Oh, ignore this one. Now this is the good one, but ignore those ones, and then these ones is the main timeline. But if that one's
Yeah.
not good, then it's not the main timeline anymore. And now, I think people are just getting sick of it, and I think like
Yeah, I'm kind of sick
you
of that.
don't make any money on this.
Yeah.
I think
It's only,
call it a day or make a show maybe. You know,
yeah,
like exorcism of the week, like you'd follow a priest, and every week he's like a different case or something. You know, like
it could be
like
good.
yeah,
Sounds better than what's going on at the moment. So
like
yeah,
NCI or something, but ECI.
but it's
I don't know.
demons.
To
Yeah,
Miami, you know, this stuff.
I like
Yeah,
it.
fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah, call me, call me.
yeah. We've been saying this the whole time.
Get us on there,
Hollywood,
mate. Get,
hello.
we know what's up, and
Yeah,
I will work on The Exorcist just to keep this fucking studio away from the one last horror franchise that hasn't had a legacy sequel. My boy Freddy, leave him alone. I
mm,
used to want it. I don't think I do anymore. Um,
nah,
I don't
that's
think just leave it. Like we've had like so many original horror movies this last year, and a lot of those, even the ones that didn't make a lot of money, you know, people are still talking about Talk to Me. You know, Five Nights at Freddy's was a pretty big hit.
mhm,
Yeah, and these are things where you don't have to spend $400 million to pick up the rights. You know what I mean? So
mm,
hopefully, more this will lead to more better original stuff. But somehow they're gonna keep fucking trying to break that egg. Um,
yeah,
so fuck it. Watch this space. Speaking of watching spaces, we talked about Rebel Moon last week, George.
we
We
did indeed.
speculated when are we getting? Because we had part one, now we're getting part two, but also big part of the marketing for this was, well, it's not really the real version. There's going to be a better director's version coming out because it's
Mhm,
Zack Snyder, and that's what they think is going to draw up the interest. And we wondered if we would get the R-rated director's cut of the first one before or after we got the like the part, the second part. Turns out we're getting it afterwards, so we're not getting the
oh,
extended part until late this summer apparently, and we'll be getting part two in like April, I think. We'll get to that
I
in a little
skim
while.
read this. I didn't actually see that.
Yeah,
So
um,
yeah,
late summer, and then there's just a lot of quotes about Zack Snyder talking about how it's, you know, crazy, violent, sexy, this, that, and
yeah.
the other,
I saw
which
the Verhoeven
it might have been the
comparison.
unravel of the movie, really, because a lot of people didn't like Rebel Moon, and
Mm,
I feel I'm confident that because people, his director's cuts are always better than the actual movie, which begs the question: why are you not then just release? Why have you done this like 4 times and it's not
I
just
will tell
because?
you why.
Just release that version, and then maybe it will do better.
You know why? It's because they're always so fucking long.
Well, yeah, but
But if it's on streaming, then I
yeah,
I wouldn't see why not.
they've got no problem with fucking Martin Scorsese making like 4-hour movies about murdering indigenous, you know, Native American tribes or whatever, and people will go and watch that. We didn't, but people did. I would if I'm going to sit through 4 hours or something, I would much rather it be a fucking, you know, ridiculous space adventure than, you know, sitting there watching Napoleon get cooked by his wife. You know what I mean? Like, so just fucking lay it out. People can handle it. It's on streaming. That's the benefit of streaming. We can pause, we can get up, we can go, you know, make a sandwich, take a leak,
Yeah.
whatever. Just
Yeah.
stop trying to do all these random, you know, little like gimmicky tactics to try and drum up interest. When what's going to drum up the most interest is, damn, that movie was good. It was 4 hours long, but fuck, that violence, that sex, that action, everything was great, and I was locked in, you know. And then you've got, because you can't make you only get one first impression, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like less people are going to watch this director's cut now because they didn't like the theatrical cut. Whereas if there was only just the one version, you haven't then got, you know, half of your audience turning off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it seems like obviously there was some sort of deadline set or, you know, release date for part 2. I don't know how it works, but obviously. Sorry?
I said it's streaming. Like, they make their own deadlines. So why are they making them close a deadline just to shoot themselves in the foot? You know what I mean? If you make the deadline, extend it.
Yeah.
God,
And you think that
done at college, I would have fucking stayed there. You know?
You would have thought like they'd had that, you know, the second the R-rated cut, extended cut, like, you know, they're good to go as well. But I don't know. I guess not.
I mean, maybe it's ready, and they just wanted to release part 1, part 2, and then we'll get extended 1, extended 2. Because maybe that would confuse people. Because if you watch Rebel Moon and then, you know, 3 months later you see that there's another one out, you'll be like, oh, the new one's out, and then it's the same one that you just watched but longer. I don't know. We're not the marketing people, but we could still do better. Netflix, you have to wait for Universal and Blumhouse to get off the phone, but we're there. All right, we are here for you.
I ain't going to work for Blumhouse. They can fuck off. No, I'm joking. Call me.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it, Blumhouse. Now it's Nun House. I don't know. None.
They did do Nun, okay. And Nun 2, right? So all the Conjuring shit. No, not really.
Yeah. How about you conjure up a good movie? How's that? So before we get into talking about what we've got coming up in 2024, we have a little retrospect. We're gonna rewind. Imagine, like, if you could put in that, like, where we're going, it's like a flashback. You know what I mean? Like in a sequence. You don't have to do it. Just imagine it. We're flashing all the way back. Because we didn't know what episode we talked about this in. Like, I do the note, we do the episode, we move on. That's fine. So I had to go looking back all the way to episode 2, George. All the way to episode 2 was when Barbie Barbie hit $1 billion, to everyone's surprise, and we thought we'd take a guess at what might be some other, like, surprise box office hits for the rest of the year.
I can't even remember what my predictions were.
We picked 3, George. We picked 3.
Okay.
On Dean's corner, we had Wonka, we had Dune 2, and we had Napoleon. And in the George corner, we had Your Ex, Thanksgiving, and My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
Oh, fuck. Did they even come out?
That's what I had to look up. So straight away, I'm like, oh, this ain't looking good for George.
I knew it wouldn't.
No doubt it did come out, George.
Oh, right, and it didn't do well.
It made 39 million.
That's not. Is
Um,
it?
and in Short X, this is international overall box office, by the way, not just domestic or whatever. So internationally, Greek Wedding 3, $39 million, which is pretty good for a movie that we didn't know actually came out. Then you've got coming in at second place on your side here, Thanksgiving made a nice 45 million, which isn't that surprising. I think I said this at the time. It was pretty bold because Thanksgiving is like it's not an international holiday.
Quite a localized holiday, yeah. So.
Yeah, and then Short X made a nice 111 million, which seems appropriate. On my side, Wonka did make 270 million.
Okay, now.
Which is pretty good. In theaters, so that's still going, by the way.
I actually went to see it as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah, you enjoyed it, which is surprising.
Yeah, it was alright.
Not that there's anything wrong with enjoying it, No. I just didn't imagine you there with, licking your little everlasting lollipop, ready to be taken
wasn't doing that.
To see Wonderland or whatever. But maybe that's exactly what you need, George. To brighten it up from the usual fare. You need that hot and cold,
Yeah.
You need
that balance, find a balance. Yeah, juxtaposition, that's the word.
So, he's a trauma film, then he watches Paddington and it centers him. And it's right back in the middle with us regular people. Anyway, Napoleon made this. I don't even believe this because I don't know anyone who saw this movie. I didn't see a poster. I didn't see a fucking screen. But Napoleon apparently made 214 million.
214.
214.
Wow.
And it went on Apple. Is it Apple Plus or whatever their service is called?
Apple TV.
Apple TV. There you go. Happy days, Mr. Fact Check. And then my third pick was June 2. Didn't get released, everyone.
Yeah. But still, you still your predictions.
On first glance, yes. However, Wonka made 270 million. It did cost like over 200 million. Whereas Big Fat Greek Wedding cost 18 million and made nearly 40. Do you know what I mean? So it like more than doubled its budget. Thanksgiving cost like 15 million and that made 45 million, and Shaw cost like 12 million or something and made 111. So if you look at it from profit, you win, but box office, I win. At the end of the day, any prizes and nobody wins. So cares. And maybe we're doing another game later. Maybe there's prizes, maybe there's not. Spoiler alert. Who cares? All right. But what we care about is the films that we're gonna see, George. Let's stop living in the past, mate. I've fucking had enough. We need to move on. Right?
To the future, to the present, into the future.
Present to the future. And that's why they call it a present, because these movies are gifts. Is that what they say? Right. So how to do this? Have you organised yours by date? Because I've just really got.
I have actually got mine by date of release. Only one of them that has a release date to be confirmed. Shall I go first, or?
Well, it depends. Have you got any January ones, or have you not got any January?
Oh no, I haven't. No, have you?
Right, I've got a couple here in January. We've got
go for it then.
The Beekeeper with Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
I don't know why that's really hard to do an English accent. I was overthinking it. It's like, wait, this is me and Jason Statham sound the same, actually. So we've got The Beekeeper, a long line of movies about people in regular professions who go on a revenge-fueled killing spree. You know, we've had the accountant, we've had the gardener, we've got the beekeeper,
The mechanic.
like the
Did
mechanic.
he did do
Please.
the remake of the Mechanic as well, didn't he?
Yes, he did with oh fuck, I think De Niro was in that.
All right. So I've seen
And
the Charles Bronson,
yeah,
the original.
yeah. I think De Niro's in the remake for like 5 minutes.
Right.
Anyway, we've in January Beekeeper, and then we've got a remake of Mean Girls, but this time, George, it's a musical based on the musical stage
Oh,
play. We're getting Mean Girls. Either of these, you going to see any of these? Moving on to February.
you know, yeah, go on. I was
You
going to
got
say
any,
I might watch Mean Girls.
I mean,
uh,
if the
you mean?
movies right, and if the reviews are coming out and it's like, I don't know, got anything of like substance to it, if it's got like some scathing satire, like the original had, you know, if they find a way to like have a fun new angle on that, because I do like Mean Girls. I think it holds up pretty well for that like era of, a sort of like teen rom-com style movies, but it does have more bite and more substance to it than a lot of those. So if they can give that over with them, then yeah, I'll go and see it. And fuck it, I like a musical, you know. So ladies, you want a date for Cool George? I don't care.
No, I'm off
No,
the
no.
market.
February. You got anything in February?
No, actually, I haven't. I don't know.
Okay, so
What
all
you got?
movies here for February.
Oh,
Argyle, which we talked about the trailer a few weeks.
oh, yeah. Actually, yeah,
Uh,
that looks interesting.
new Matthew Vaughn thing with Henry
Hmm.
Cavill and playing like he's a spy, but he's in a book and he's got a weird
Hmm.
haircut. It looks fun. Um,
Yeah.
I like Matthew Vaughn as a director. I like his style. Haven't liked his last couple of things really with the Kingsman sequels or whatever. But hopefully this is kind of back to more like what he does good. Madam Web, everyone's favourite Spider-Man character, Madam Web, because we was all waiting for Madam Web. Okay, we
Oh,
can't
man.
even him. You know, there's so many characters out there that still are fighting hard. They want movies, they're not getting them. They're banging on the Marvel doors. They're not getting their calls returned. But somehow Madam Web was the one that made it through.
Oh,
Uh,
you're gonna have to, you know, yeah, enlighten me on that one.
you remember Madam Web from the Spider-Man cartoon? She was the old lady with the red glasses.
Oh,
You 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 know,
she's
you
got her
know
own film.
yeah. She's not an old
Okay.
lady though. She's a hot young 20, 30 something, obviously, because you're not going to spend
Hollywood.
$200 million on, you know, grandma kicking ass, which I would see, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. I'm
Enough said.
actually, yeah. It's generally the
Sorry.
consensus is that people hate this trailer. They hate that this movie's coming out. I, I'm excited. I can't wait to see this fucking ship either sink or swim. Probably sink, but I'm in for the roller coaster ride of that. Um,
All right.
we get here's one that I'm surprised isn't on your list, George. Lisa Frankenstein. You heard of this?
I was gonna, yeah, I was gonna mention it, but I just didn't. Is that out next month? Is it?
It's out in February. Yes. A couple of
Alright.
interesting things about this because I looked at it and I'm like, this is basically like it looks like Warm Bodies, right? But for Frankenstein, it looks like just very much like that. But then you look at who wrote it, and it's Diablo Cody, you know, Academy Award nominated writer of Juno, and she also did Jennifer's Body. Um,
Alright.
her movies are pretty good generally. When Diablo Cody writes a movie, characters are great, dialogue's always great. Um, And this is also being directed by somebody by the name of Zelda Williams, who you might know as the daughter of the late great Robin Williams. So,
all right.
Directorial debut. If this is out in theatres, I'm not going to go out of my way for this, but I'm peaked. I'm a little bit peaked. I think this could be good. And finally, Bob Marley. Finally getting a Bob Marley biopic, George.
All right.
So,
okay.
Get your clip-on dreadlocks out. Get your herbs on the old back burner and get ready for Bob Marley : One Love, which I think is a really shit title.
Yeah.
I hate the name. I hate, like, they've always got to name it after a song, right? Always, every time. And I do think it's, well, Black History Month, Bob Marley movie. We could be hearing a lot about that, I reckon.
All right. Yeah.
And then moving on, Dune 2 in March, didn't come out, was on my list for last year, didn't come out. We're getting Dune 2, we're getting Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, we're getting Godzilla X Kong, which is
that's in April, isn't it?
The April, but literally about 3 days ago, they moved it up by a week. A few movies have been kind of shuffling around lately, probably because of the strikes and everything's kind of, still finding its place everyone's trying to find a better spot for their movie, right? Because everyone's terrified that these big movies are going to flop. And Kung Fu Panda 4. So obviously Ghostbusters probably top of the list for March.
Yeah, I'd say so. I was just looking at some independent films. You've got a 24 film, Love Lies Bleeding, coming out in March. Kristen Stewart, Ed Harris is in it. Dave Franco. Sorry.
Ed Harris. I thought he died. Anyway, I thought he was dead.
Ed Harris is still with us.
Yeah,
what did you just say?
Ed Harris, not Dead Harris. But Imaginary. It's a horror film about an imaginary friend. You heard of this one?
Yeah, I made a note of that as well.
I saw the poster. Don't know nothing else about it, but not to be confused with the movie that's coming out later on in the year, which is a kids' movie called Imaginary Friends, which is based the same premise but the regular non-horror version, I guess. So fun little, cuddly blue bear that's gonna murder everyone. Could be good, could be a sleeper hit, but doubt it. Those early year horror films, 9 times out of 10, not good.
Yeah, formally. Go on, sorry.
No, go on, hit me.
I don't know. I was just looking at there's a Richard Linklater film called Hitman coming to Netflix, but there's no date on it. He seems like he's busy he's got a few things out this year. He's got this God Save Texas. It's like a 3-part anthology series of a personal documentary stories all centered around Texas and inspired by Lawrence Wright's book of the same name. But yeah, be cool to see what Richard Linklater's been up to. I'm quite a fan of some of his stuff. But yeah, moving on. Got Return to Silent Hill.
Is that April? Is that March?
That's April. Sorry, are you still in March?
No, we're in April.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, so Return to Silent Hill.
Because I liked the first one. I thought the first one was okay.
2006. I didn't realise. Go on, sorry. We keep talking over each other.
Adaptation. I thought.
Yeah, you cut out there. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought for a video game adaptation, Silent Hill was
really good.
It was fine. Yeah, not bad.
I enjoyed it.
I saw the second one.
It's the same director as the first one, Christopher Gans.
Is
yeah,
he doing
that's
this
all I've
one?
really got on that. Yeah.
Okay, so which is quite surprising because it's been such a long gap, and you think the same, creative would have like moved on to other things, but he must like this property.
Yeah.
They are
But
pretty
yeah,
faithful, what I've seen.
yeah. That's 26th of April. That's due to come out. I haven't really got anything for May. Have you?
Yeah, a couple of things in May. Oh, by the way, in April, First Omen coming out, but we agreed last week that looks like garbage.
Yeah.
And there's a new Guy Ritchie movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which sounds, I love that title. I don't know anything about it. I'm just going to go into that and just watch the crime caper unfold, hopefully, and enjoy that. In May, we start to get into the big shit now. The big boys are coming in. We got the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They're all coming in. Furiosa, as of now, is scheduled to be on the same date as Apes. There's no way both of those come out on the same day. One of them will most likely move. And Garfield, we've got Apes, we've got cartoon cats. This time it's Chris Pratt. Yay! Haven't heard him do a voice for an animated film in 5 minutes. So I'm looking forward to that. And Horoscope, you heard of this one?
Yeah. Oh no, I did make a note of that.
Again, just based on the name and the premise, this is genius. All these people following the horoscopes, astrology, believe what you want, that's fine. I'm not going to laugh at you publicly. So I love the idea that maybe, all these like new age, kids or teenagers are now getting murdered because of their horoscopes. Maybe the horoscopes predict, how they're going to die, or it's going to tie into like their sign, or, I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of digs. There's going to be a lot of jabs about like sort of like this new age kind of, well, it's not new age anymore, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of fun, I think, to be poked with a horror movie. So I'm probably going to check that one out. I think that could be good. June. You better keep not Dune the movie, but the month.
No, the month of June.
Oof.
Yes.
Just clarify, we're not going back in time, everyone. We are working, we are powering through this year. Okay. Speaking of powering through, in June, you better keep his wife's name out of your fucking mouth, because Will Smith is back, everyone. Bad Boys
4.
Yep.
And Bad Boys 3.
Bad Boys 3. Do you know what the name of Bad Boys 3 was? Bad Boys for Life. Life. But it's Bad Boys 3, but it's for life. So they wasted that title, because now we've got Bad Boys 4, which should be called Bad Boys for Life. And they're not doing it. All right. I'll tell you the truth. I've never seen a Bad Boys movie.
Have you not?
No, never
You've
really.
seen Bad Boys 2? Sorry, that's the Hot Fuzz.
The two bad boys, Boys to Men. Anyway, if you could, I've got no interest in this. However, I am really interested to see how well this does, because of the whole Will Smith thing, right? Have people turned on the Fresh Prince? Because I don't know what the consensus is these days. Anything when one of these things happens, the internet just gets divided into two camps, right?
I don't know. Yeah, right. It seemed like a dick move, I will say personally, but at the same time, defending, your wife's honour, like, I don't know.
Your wife.
I'm more of a fan of Chris Rock, so yeah.
I'm in the Chris Rock Civil War camp. I'm part of the Rockies, not the Smiths.
The 13th Apostle.
Yeah, the 13th Apostle himself. Like,
Yeah.
that woman could have sued the absolute shit out of Will Smith, and the fact that he didn't just makes me like him
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
He's
interested to see where the public perception falls on, and the box office numbers will speak volumes to that, I reckon. Other than that, in June we've got Quiet Place. They're doing a prequel about the alien, how they came into being. You've got The Ballerina, which is the John Wick spin-off. I still haven't seen John Wick 2, 3, or 4, but we'll see. Anna de Armas is pretty popular. That franchise is pretty well liked. That could do pretty well. Into July, you've got your favourite Despicable Me 4 is coming out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do we need...
Just in time for my birthday. Oh, you missed... No, sorry.
2 Minion prequels and 3 of these. How is this still going? It's just fucking boggles my mind, to be honest.
Oh, they love it.
They love it. It's such a one-note joke. The little, the little yellow things and whatever. Like,
oh, you don't like the Minions?
No. You know what? I've liked a couple. I've enjoyed a couple of the Despicable Me movies. I couldn't tell you which ones. I think the first one's fun. I really liked Jason Segel playing the villain.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of the villain characters have been quite fun. I like the pulpy 60s sci-fi Bond thing they have to, like, the gadgets and the bass and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't see 3, or Minions, so I'm probably not the one for this. We've got Twisters, Hide Those Nipples Away, because Twisters is coming out. That is, of course, a sequel to the 90s Bill Paxton
disaster movie, yeah.
Yeah. So what more could you have but Twister? Now it's Twisters, and not with a Z. I'm disappointed by that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for July. There's something called Project Artemis, which has got ScarJo and a bunch of real famous people in it, but I don't know anything about it, and who knows. Here it is. ScarJo, Channing Tatum, Woody Harrelson, Ray Romano. It's got a fun cast. Directed by Greg Berlanti, who used to run who used to be a big showrunner for the CW network. So he did the Green Arrow TV show and the Flash, and he did all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And we are cutting out again, but we are back, everybody. We didn't go anywhere. And Deadpool 3 will probably be the biggest movie of the year. Hugh Jackman back.
Is that your prediction?
The first 2 made like 800 million each.
Ooh. I wasn't aware of those numbers.
Yeah, man, it did hold the record at one point for highest grossing R-rated movie, and I think Joker crossed the billion and knocked it off. But pretty popular character, Hugh Jackman. We want to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, probably wearing the costume, maybe the mask, the stupid mask with the pointy things and the white eyes. I think going to be a lot of nostalgia, member berry type stuff in the movie, but I think it's very much going to like parody all of that. So I think easy $1 billion, calling it.
Okay.
Yeah. August, we got Borderlands, Eli Roth, Borderlands, finally. I'm a big fan of those games. I don't necessarily know if he's the right fit for that. We'll see. That could be good. Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
That's got to be high up
on the
list for you, right? And Kraven the Hunter. Because if you didn't get enough Spider-Man D-list characters with Madam Web and you still need a bit more, you're getting Kraven the Hunter, which is going to be R-rated, so that sets it apart. And my favourite Spider-Man villain, thank you for asking.
Oh, is it? I was going to say that is one that I am aware of. I don't know much about him. But...
Yeah,
Uh,
probably not be good. But again, I'm watching that car crash all day long. Long live Craven. Then September, we're getting spooky now. We're getting Beetlejuice. We're getting Shaw 11, George. Less than a year after the other one came out, we're getting Shaw 11.
oh,
Um,
was that September or October?
September.
Yeah, like last year. Was that the same?
Oh
Because they
yeah,
were coming out
yeah,
October, weren't they? For when they first
yeah.
started coming out. Like,
Like, I think 11 was like right up at the end of September. I think it was beginning of October, and then they moved it a couple of days forward, and it was like the last week of September. I think. Don't quote me on it. Let me in the comments, everyone. Let us know if we're missing anything that you're excited for, or if you're excited for any of the things that we're talking about, or if you think our list
yeah,
is way up and you're all about those independent art movies that we don't know about, and
yeah. Tell us about 'em.
tell us about
Listener.
things. Just fucking comment, all right? Just get in there. Get in there. Tell me how much you like the present that George bought me. Whatever. Okay. We're we're very touched over here at the Poproast Podcast. Pick like. Moving on. Um, oh,
October.
October.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
more September?
Well, there's a robot movie that sounds like it could be fun. It's called Wild Robot, and it's about, I think it's like an animated film about like a robot that gets like stranded on a desert island and it has to survive. Um, so it kind of sounds like
Okay.
Castle meets Wally, so that could be fun. It's not a Disney
Right.
one. I think it's a smaller animation studio, so could be good. Could be good. And a Transformers animated movie as well, if that's your beef, if you like. October, Smile 2, George. Didn't see the first one. Thought it had
You
a great
didn't?
marketing campaign. But do you remember they were paying people to just go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like events and just sit in
And
the
be
background?
creepy. Yeah, just sit in the
Yeah,
like front row and
stuff.
smile at the camera creepily. Sorry?
Did you see it? Did they get
I
you
did
to
see it. Yeah, I thought it was alright. It was like front heavy. Like there was some, you know,
Yeah,
interesting, like gory, scary parts near the front, and then it kind of petered out
keep
for me. But I wasn't smiling at the end.
smiling. Went from a smile to just a grimace, maybe. What's in between, like a smile and sad, just resting bitch face. That's what they call it.
Yeah, that's
The
yeah.
spin-off. That's the fucking spin-off.
There you go.
Just do every
RBS.
do every face. Let's do
Yeah.
Grumpy. Let's have a whole Seven Dwarf horror movie fucking franchise. Let's have the fucking Grumpy.
You said it now. Someone's gonna do it.
You know what? Public domain. You can do whatever you want with those dwarves. Essentially, obviously, they are still people. So I told. Moving on. So October, Smile 2, Joker 2,
Yeah.
which also is
I've got,
apparently be musical and have some like weird zany elements to it. Did you like the first
all right.
Joker?
I did. I thought it was, you know, I wasn't as crazy about it as everyone else was, but yeah, I enjoyed it enough.
Yeah, I
Uh,
really
it,
like it.
it,
If you was
you
wondering,
didn't.
I felt like it did a really
I
good
was going
job.
to ask.
It was really well made. It did a really good job of like having like the look and the feel of one of those like 70s, 80s, like grimy kind of New York crime kind of movies, but
Yeah.
it was hollow. It was just like it was just like a McDonald's version of like uh you know a dark character study kind of movie. I don't know. It just very derivative and good performance, great cinematography. It had all the pieces. I just felt like the story was just empty inside. Um,
Oh,
Speaking of empty inside, also scheduled for October is Wolfman. But last
oh
week
yeah.
Ryan Gosling pulled out of Wolfman. Oh, don't say that in a
Oh,
hurry. And because we've all pulled out of a Wolfman once or twice. you know,
Speak
and
for
have
yourself.
to do the wolf of shame, the wolf of shame. So that's fun. So that's probably not coming out. So I would like to see. We talked about this. More
I'd like to see
werewolf
what
stuff.
come out.
Wolves. More werewolves.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad werewolf films, but can I just
Yeah.
interject? I don't know if you was going to move on, but probably my most anticipated film of the year is coming out in October, and that's Terrifier 3. I know you're not familiar with them.
No, I
But
did not add to my list because I did not know the other two. And I thought Terrifier 3.
this one's I'd say most anticipated. Like I'm a fan of the series so far. This guy Damien Leone
Yeah.
has built this up from like he was a character in one of his like anthology films, and then this Art the Clown character. Went completely independent. Worked his way from the ground up, and the first two are pretty savage slasher films. This Art the Clown characters, built up quite a lot of traction, and Terrifier 3 is, interestingly enough, actually a Christmas slasher film, but it's coming out in October 25th.
Right. Marketing. They might move that. I don't know.
You'd think it.
Or is it just gory? Is it actually like?
It's actually like far more like dark humor. Yeah, it's gory as hell. Like they really push the envelope with that, and I know some people like just over the top gore.
Maybe we'll do a watch along Terrifier.
I think we should for Halloween. Why not?
And we can watch it together. I'll be watching it for the first time, and we can get my reaction to the gore, to the terrifying stuff. And you've already seen, so you can enjoy that aspect, and you can drop some knowledge. And not the biggest well-known movie to do a watch along, but maybe based on what you're saying, it might be a fun
for horror
one.
fans, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as modern horror goes, it's up there.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. This original shit, like you're not spending 400 million on the Terrifier. You can make like these for 400 million.
I haven't got the numbers here right now, but I know he did really well with Terrifier 2. Like, insane profits compared to the budget.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is what they need to be doing. Yeah. Like, we're done with like spend more to make more. That's not the rule of thumb.
Should be the model. Yeah.
Like make good, get good. That should be the new. Sit on a rock and get good. There's a reference to.
Oh, that's the one.
People will know, and George is one of them. But sit on a rock, get good. Watch the Terrifier while you're waiting for the November releases, in which we have Venom 3, Gladiator 2.
Oh yeah.
Should be here, by the way. That's 3 Spider-Man movies in 1 year, and not one of them have Man in it. I just want to point that out. But we are getting Venom 3. I didn't mind the Venom films. I think they're throwaway fun.
I watched the first one.
Yeah. Second one is the same, but Woody Harrelson is the villain, so he's a bit more engaging, but it's basically the same movie again. It's fine. I think they're fun. I like the relationship between Eddie and the Thing, like talking to each other. It reminds me of like almost like Basket Case or one of those kind of, where somebody's got like this gnarly, horrible entity in their kind of influencing their day-to-day life. I find that stuff really fun. Speaking of little entities invading your day-to-day life, he's got one hanging around over there by the sounds of it.
Let's get him up here. It's about time he got introduced. Little bastard. Oh, he's ripped my headphones off. No, he can stay down there.
All I'm going to tell everyone, no offense to George, but it's one really fucking ugly dog.
Right? It's really ugly dog. Look at him.
Absolutely.
Munter.
that's a fun-looking cat. That's what you want.
Okay.
You want that distinguished,
Go on now.
visually placed, but with big bright eyes, guaranteed to get even the most stoic of horror movie fans a little bit gushy in the good way, not the bad way, or depending on how you look at it. Moving on,
Bad gush.
closing out November, this could be a hit. I reckon this is going to be huge. But Wicked Part 1, obviously based on the musical. You must have heard of Wicked. Which is like the alternate prequel, dark version of origin of the Wizard of Oz, right? I'm surprised it's taken this long, because this musical, I don't know if you've had the same experience with this, but girls our age, George, they fucking love Wicked.
Oh yeah, they've all taken their mums and their aunts and their nans and everyone to see it. So
popular. It's like the Phantom of the Opera of its generation, I think. And Part 1 for Part 2. So, I think that's going to crush. I think we're going to be hearing Defying Gravity. We're going to be seeing green bitches all over the place, pointy hats on the tube. In fact, if you're going to see this movie, don't wear a pointy hat, because you guarantee you'll be sitting in front of me.
Yeah, you're going to ruin it for people.
Don't ruin it. Just take your broom.
Well, take your hat. Just take it off when you're watching the film. How about that?
Off when
have some consideration for your fellow moviegoer.
I do not want to have a repeat of fucking sitting behind somebody with a fucking Kylo Ren helmet on and a big hood, okay, at Star Wars, right?
What a prick.
People think, enjoy what you want. Do have fun, but, not in front of me, all right? I don't want to see you have fun. I hate it. So it's going to be good, or probably it'll make money, whether or not it'll be good.
Yeah.
Because we had Oz the Great and Powerful, which was kind of like another alternate prequel of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It was probably Sam Raimi's, I would say without a doubt, Sam Raimi's worst movie. He obviously just for a paycheck.
I didn't even know he directed that.
He did. Man's got to eat, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that was the last movie he directed.
Was it
Strange.
Not Doctor Strange 2?
He did Doctor Strange 2, yeah, but that came out in 2021 or 2022, and that was the
first 2022.
Oz, which was 2010 or 11.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's not good, and fuck James Franco. Moving on. December, we're gonna finish. We're going to finish off all over the year before we've even started, everyone. We got episode 3.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. But yeah.
No, I still haven't seen the second one, but I thought the first one was a fine video game adaptation, and it's a kids movie, so you obviously know that going in. But Jim Carrey is doing 90s Jim Carrey again. And Ben Schwartz is one of my favourite actors, mainly because of Parks and Rec, because he was the worst. And John Ralphio.
Yes, John Ralphio.
And my man, after my own heart, Lord of the Rings is getting an animated movie.
Yeah.
War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah. It's like a prequel thing. I think.
It's going to be set at some point in the Middle Earth timeline that's not in the main movies or whatever. I don't know. I'm surprised I've not heard more about this. I'm not really getting any hype. I'm not really deep into the fantasy, but I'm not hearing anything about this.
All I know is that it's directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who did like Ghost in the Shell, a bunch of that stuff, or he wrote a bunch of that stuff.
The Ghost, he must have been the anime Ghost in the Shell, not the because I believe the movie with ScarJo was directed by
stuff.
Sanders. And it's
he wrote. You're
Yeah.
getting facts wrong.
So that's a dude who's like, he's not just a throwaway. That's like a dude who's like, he knows he quality animation.
Yeah.
You've got to go. You've
I
got to
think
kind of go
he
prestige.
works on Akira in the animation department.
There you go. That's
He's
what
been
I'm saying.
doing this for a minute. Yeah. So
you need prestige if you're doing Lord of the Rings animated. That's a franchise that you know they're sitting on. Like, we need to do stuff with this. This is a big franchise that's not really doing anything. We could be making movies out of this. I do think they secured were trying to secure a deal with the Tolkien estate, so they're allowed. Because I believe at one point you wasn't allowed to like make new things with the Middle Earth characters, but I think now that they've kind of broached that, and I think the gloves are kind of coming off there. So expect to see. I think this is the gates of Mordor opening or whatever. I think we're going to see Lord of the Rings. They're going to try and bring it back, I think, in one way or another.
I'm here for it. So,
don't be surprised if 3 years from now when we're sitting there watching, Aragorn the movie or whatever, which is fine. Do what you're going to do. Don't care.
It's an interesting world to work with, but
there's a lot you could do there, but the studio oversight is going to be so fucking overbearing and harsh. I just don't know. I just don't know if there's going to be enough room, because I'd go and see like, just a movie about like a ranger dude, just living in that world, living day to day. You can't even sit on a tree because the tree might come to life and fuck you up. Like, imagine like a Blair Witch horror movie, found footage in the woods, but the trees are coming alive and killing people. Like, you could do some good stuff there, but they're not going to do any of that. What they are going to do instead, or alongside, we are also getting Mufasa, the Lion King. So if you didn't think the 2019 remake was soulless and horrible to look at,
watch it.
Well, me neither. You're getting it again, just in case you tried to change your mind. And I've got 2 more things on the list, George. If you've got anything else you want to add before we wrap this segment,
I've got 2 more as well.
all right, do yours then. One of them might be the track, actually. I feel like one of these.
Nosferatu.
It is absolutely Nosferatu.
It's scheduled for Christmas Day.
I know.
Odd choice,
but fuck it. I'm tired of like, oh well, it's got to be these kind of movies in the summer, and it's got to be Star Wars and Aquaman in December. Let's change it up a bit. Maybe not just the movies themselves change, but maybe like, just the general kind of like age-old like release date kind of structure. Maybe if you change that around, maybe that will be enough to get people in. Like, what? Nosferatu on Christmas Day? That's weird. Let's go. Could be good. Is it Robert Eggers?
Yeah, he did The Northman, Lighthouse. That I've seen, which I did enjoy. They're amazing visuals.
I've heard The Northman fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good.
This could be good. This could be. It could potentially. We said earlier about like there's no legacy horror movies left to ruin. We spoke too soon. That Nosferatu could be the make or break for if they carry on doing these legacy horror movie sequels.
Well, yeah, they haven't overdone it. They haven't done enough, if anything, with it. So
yeah,
I say enough, like
we've not had 4 different reboots, like with Halloween, whatever. Yeah.
It's been over 100 years, so 1922.
One every 100 years is fine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next Nosferatu is? Another 100 years from now?
Jesus Christ. Well, we will never know. So
fully immersive. The next Nosferatu movie you get is like a fully interactive, like virtual reality experience, right? You're living in the fucking castle, getting fucking. That's the only way. It's the only way that we can.
As if the world isn't been turned to glass by then, by nuclear warfare. I don't know.
Getting ready to experience some glass.
Dust.
we're ready for snow here where I am, because I'm a little bit further north than George. I'm the Northman of this podcast, as it were. And yeah, we're expecting like severe snow any day now. And then probably we'll have another savage summer, and they're only going to get more extreme. Yeah. So we're not going to need these in another 100 years time. We're not going to we're going to live in it if we're even alive at all. But let's end on a happy note. Karate George. They only announced like 3 or 4 weeks ago. They announced that they're teaming up with Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan from their respective Karate Kid franchises are coming together. They're going to make the ultimate Karate Kid movie. I don't really care about Karate Kid. And to be honest, I kind of sailed on Jackie Chan in recent years due to, some unsavory behaviour that we won't get into here. But Jackie, don't be a prick, okay? Like, you might be able to do your own stunts, but this one was one stunt too far, mate. You're fucking pushing the boundary now. I don't know if you know what Jackie Chan is all about.
No, I'm actually completely oblivious to
some of our more like fringe, disenfranchised, groups and communities. Jackie Chan isn't going to be the chairman of the LGBTQ plus at any point. Basically, he cut his daughter off. His daughter came out, he cut her off. Like, that's it.
Oh, he disowned her.
He disowned his daughter. I don't know if he has more than one, but probably not anymore. So Jackie Chan gets the 21st century, all right, just because you can do all those practical moves from the olden days doesn't mean you still have to fucking act like you're in the old days.
Yeah. Oh well.
And there was me to end on a happy note, George. I really tried to do it, but
I had one more anyway.
But what's your one? What one more?
It was just Maxine as the Ty West. It's the third film in his little series. He had X and then Pearl. I've only seen X. I really enjoyed that. Pearl, I'm hoping to see soon. And it looks to be interesting. So, but there's no date confirmed on that anyway. So,
there's a whole bunch of movies with no dates. Again, like I said earlier, a lot of people are still shuffling around, trying to keep up with the times. And as the famous man once said, the times they do be a changing. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff on here to chew on. There's even some stuff that we didn't mention. Apparently Rayman is getting a movie. Like the PlayStation dude. The little
PlayStation game, with the floaty hands and stuff.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm getting one before my boy Crash Bandicoot. What are we doing? What are we doing? Naughty Dog. Now they did The Last of Us. They did Uncharted. They're kind of, Sony have expanded into a studio. Or not Sony, but like Sony, like PlayStation animation. And they're branching out. Give me some Crash, man. Fuck Rayman.
I don't know. I would say fuck Rayman. I mean,
it's fine.
I enjoyed the games, but Crash Bandicoot was a better game.
Crash Bandicoot is the man. I even painted my walls to look like him, right? So,
that's that.
That's 2024, everyone. So
what we got coming up. So,
what do you agree with us on? What do you not agree with us on? What did we miss? What should we have missed? What's going to be the best? What's going to be the worst? Whatever you're feeling, drop it down below, and we will move on. Anything else to cover, or do we?
No, you want to do
questions? I saw Saltburn. We talk about Saltburn a little bit. How long you got, George? You
you want to leave that for now? Because I might actually watch it. And then
Watch
we can
Saltburn,
both talk about
absolutely watch Saltburn,
it.
and we'll chat about that next week.
Okay.
I found it. I won't say my overall thoughts, but I found it a very engaging watch. I think it's worth your time to watch it, and we'll talk about it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know. It's a bit of a gnarly movie in places. We'll get to it. Anyway, questions. We haven't done a little.
Oh, you want to do a little pop quiz?
We
Yeah.
We do a little pop quiz.
All right. Cool. Been waiting to use that for about 6 months.
The first air horn of the Poproast Podcast, I think.
There you go.
Oh, shit up. Okay, Poproast Podcast, and you know, because we like things that alliterate, we like things that are on brand with the name, and I don't see any balloons, so I guess we're asking questions. Here we go. Are you ready, George? Am I asking you three? You ask me three?
Yeah, you do. You do me. I'll do you next week.
Yeah, heard it here first. Don't mind if I do. Okay. So, Dakota Johnson, star of Madam Web, also starred in which controversial book adaptation?
Comic book adaptation.
Just a regular old boring book.
It's a regular old book. Oh shit! I'm fuck. Put me on the spot. I have no idea.
A little bit hot, maybe. Trying to think of the answer. You know.
Oh, it wasn't 50 Shades of Grey, was it?
No, 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, fucking absolute.
There you go.
Yeah, Hail Mary of a guess, and I got it. All right, cool.
The original Omen, because we mentioned first Omen, but the original Omen was directed by which famous superhero movie director?
God damn it. I should know this, but I don't. Superhero movie director.
He directed a pretty well-known.
I'm guessing it's Superman.
Richard Donner is the one, yeah. He directed Superman.
God damn it. Oh, I should know. The Omen. All right, okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. We'll say 1 for 2 at the moment. And
free, right?
we talked about Wolverine is coming back. Originally it was not Hugh Jackman. Originally it was a man called Doug Ray Scott, who dropped out of playing Wolverine to appear as the villain in which disappointing sequel?
Disappointing sequel.
Yeah. Early 2000s.
Was it an X-Men film?
No, because he was going to be in X-Men, but he decided not to do X-Men because he wanted to do this movie.
Was it Spider-Man 2?
Song for the soundtrack.
Sorry?
A famous metal band did the song for the soundtrack.
Oh. God damn it. No,
long hair, slow motion, on a cliff.
That doesn't help me at all right now. No. I'm just going to pass, man.
Okay, the answer is Mission Impossible 2.
Oh.
Of which Doug Ray Scott is the villain in Mission Impossible 2. Notably, a denim suit. A fucking denim suit. If you don't know that a man is a villain, George, you see
a Canadian tuxedo. That's fucked up.
Denim suit.
Oh, at least I got one.
In the theater. How warm. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, that was a failure.
Well, I think 1 out of 3 is not bad. You know, it was short notice. It's not like you were revising. I did have 2 other questions that I was going to ask. And these were probably a bit harsh, so they didn't make the cut. But let's just throw this out anyway, just to see if you. I'm curious. Could you have named any of the Mean Girls? either the character or the actress. Any of them.
I can't. I've never seen the film. Is Lindsay Lohan one of them?
Well, yeah, she's the main character. Yeah.
Oh, right.
She's
Yeah. Okay.
the Mean Girls, but yeah, I would have taken Lindsay Lohan.
Um.
Or I would have.
Who else would have been around that era? Was
Three,
Eliza Dushku in it?
no, it's Rachel McAdams is the main Mean Girl. Regina George.
Dushku in it.
I don't know enough.
Okay.
I don't know enough about Mean Girls. Also, the gay best friend from Mean Girls went on to star in the remake, or not star, but he was in the remake of I Spit in Your Grave.
Okay.
He's the have you seen it?
Yeah, once.
Spoiler. He's the dude who gets his eyes pecked out by birds.
Right.
Rough times. And finally, could you have named any of the Furious Five from Kung Fu Panda? Either the actor or the animals, I would have taken.
No. I have seen it, but I can't remember. I saw it once with my nephews.
Lucy Liu was like a snake. Angelina Jolie was like a bird.
Was one of the Baldwins in it? I don't know.
Seth Rogen was the praying mantis.
Okay.
Anyway, deep cuts, everyone. Deep cuts. We've got to get that warmed up for the year that's coming on. We're having a bit of a
that was
fun. It was fun. I think that was fun. Says the guy who didn't get any questions wrong because I didn't answer them. So absolutely fine.
I'll be here next week. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Next week we'll talk about anything else you want to throw on?
Actually, no, it's fine.
No,
I have news, but we'll talk about it off camera. It's fine.
Okay, a little bit of sizzle there for me, everybody. Now it's not just you who wanting more. We're all in the same boat. So hopefully we see everyone next week. You'll see us. We'll be in your feeds. We'll be on your screens, and you'll be in our hearts. So, unless you didn't watch, in which case you're not, but then you didn't know that anyway. So you won't feel bad, and we won't feel bad that you weren't here. But maybe we'll see you later on in the year. I don't know how to end a podcast, George. I'm just spiraling.
Let's just do what we do every time.
I mean, it's not every time. Normally the ending is fine. Once we get to the ending, it's fine. It's normally everything else before the ending. And now we're making up for it by dragging out the ending. But peace.
Yeah, peace.